Well, good morning. So I'm starting the AC project, or the heat pump, so you want to call it, reversible AC, heating, cooling. So when I kind of laid everything out for this patio, I wasn't really planning on having multiple heat pump units. I was going to have one big one kind of at the back, and then that didn't work out. So we've got a new plan. So we're going to have a heat pump, an external unit sitting this way, and then one sitting this way, one up on kind of the roof over the sunroom, and then one at the other end of the patio. So what I need to do is, the heat pumps have two of these rubber feet and they sit on them. So what I'm going to be doing is having to remove this portion of concrete all the way down, and then basically these will rest. They just sit on the ground. You can bolt them down, or anything. You bolt the heat pump to them, but then they just sit and jiggle. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to go from this here, draw a line, cut with a saw, get this down to the concrete that I poured, which is all in the right slope and stuff like that. Kind of have to poke around a little bit, see what's under here, and then I'll have to fill in the difference. And then when San gets back from her last trip to England, or this trip to England, we're going to buy some blocks, and then I'm going to block that all up and then possibly render it. I want to try to get things done. I can probably render it later on, but I want to try to get things done as much as possible so I'm not working around these things and have a chance of damaging them. I also want to, there's some concrete in this section over here that they put in, which is not good. It draws in moisture and causes damp and stuff like that. So I have to chip that off, and then we'll have to figure out how I'm going to render that. At least chip it off if I don't render it before I put those units in. There'll be some wiggle room of them. I just don't want to do anything aggressive. Like I could get a trowel back there and smooth it out and put stuff and kind of cover up the whole unit and be careful with it. But when I'm chipping away concrete, bits of the concrete could go and hit it and hit the grills, and that wouldn't be good. So I want to get everything kind of prepped for that, and then we should be good. And then I've just got to start cutting holes and making a mess everywhere else. Actually, no, I've got other things to do. This is going to be a bit of a process just to get me able to install the heat pumps. Things like this where I wasn't planning on it. Removing a bit of concrete, and upstairs I've got to remove the water heater, because where the water heater is, not the new one, the old one, just kind of hang in the closet. Oh, we'll look into that another day, right? They're really heavy, so I've got to come up with a rig that I can lower it down and be able to get rid of it. There's a lot of stuff's kind of in the way, preventing me from going quicker. It's also been extremely hot. Today's like a nice cool day. It's only going up to 33. So I've got about 4 hours I can work out here. I put up this sun sort of shade thing out of the scaffolding, an old painting sheet. No chance of rain today, so I don't have to worry about it, or tomorrow, or the next day. We had a little sprinkle of rain yesterday. It put a bit of a couple millimeters in the fountain, which I've had to drain because we have no water. So I'm just trying to keep the plants alive right now. We have water, but just, there's a hose pipe ban and stuff like that. So yeah, we shouldn't be using it. I just want to keep things going as long as possible. And then what else? Yeah, things are hot, really, really hot. I've never seen a summer like this. Normally this time of year, things start kicking off, kind of end of July, August. We start getting in like the 30s and 40s, upper 30s and 40s. We've never had this kind of super early summer happen. So it's really put me behind schedule. And of course, having AC units to cool the house down, at least some of them, would be great, because then I could sleep better. We have one in the master bedroom. We have a little window unit kind of thing, floor one that pump with a pipe on it, hose that goes outside, but it's useless for that size of room. Brings it down a couple degrees, that's about it. Gets rid of the humidity, but it's not like a proper deal. So I'm pushing, but not pushing, because I don't want to, have a heart attack or kill myself or something like that. So we're just going to have to see how I can do. I tend to be working like 2-3 hours a day in the morning, and then I'm exhausted because it's so hot. So anyways, let's see if I can get rid of at least this today, and hopefully get a chip on, start chipping away at this, literally. It looks, even around, I don't know, I have to scratch it and see what comes off easily. Yeah, don't use concrete in these old houses. It's not a good idea. It just sucks up all the water. Anyways, then I got to do it without wrecking this pipe. And yeah, we got to put a ground. I'm going to put a grounding rod, because the guys with the pool in, they ripped it up with a digger for some reason, and they didn't tell me. Just kind of stuck under the ground with no rod on it. Anyways, so we're going to do one of that. I'll put a grinding rod over there also, and that'll get this sorted out. Anywho, let's get to this. As you can tell, I'm a little slow. I'm having trouble forming words and stuff like that. I've not slept a lot. Probably been averaging like 4 or 5 hours a night. So anyways, let's get to work. Wish me luck. And let's see if we can start making a mess. Shit. Okay, so that looks okay. That does not. That doesn't. Oh. Oh. Okay. Good morning. Well, it's the next day. I managed to chisel this out along here. Not really doing a good job on purpose. It just needs to have something to kind of grip onto. So I'm going to pour concrete along there, make a little mini teeny little form in the front of this, and then just kind of put some concrete in there. And then I will come afterwards and lime render all this. But for today, I don't know if I'll get that done or not. We'll see. I don't think so. It's been so hot. Doesn't look like I do much, but yeah, I kind of got a bit of sunstroke last night. I had to stop. I started getting, you can feel it, just get pins and needles. And I had about almost 4 liters of water and like a bottle of Coke. So I wasn't I'm dehydrated, but it's just incredible how quickly you lose your when you're sweating so much, and this heat and this humidity. To just, like, I'm fine with the temperatures. It's just the humidity. It's just been so brutal. Anyways, so what I want to do today is I want to finish chipping. We have, in the past, someone's gone and put actual concrete on these walls. If you hear this, it's kind of almost a hollow sound. That'll probably blow. This is rock solid. That's the concrete. And you can also see a bit of gray in it. There's a chunk down here, there's a chunk here, and then there's a big swath. Kind of runs at that level all the way across. I'm just going to kind of go to the edge of the window for today, the shutter thing, because the idea is that I want to be done in this area so I can put the AC units in, the exterior ones, and then I won't drop anything on or smash them or stuff like that. But I have a big section to do here, which is kind of this. I don't want to touch this. This is actually lime mortar. It'll come off on its own. There's a huge section that comes up here, all the way up to where the pipes are up there. It doesn't look to be too deep, which is great. Hopefully it comes off fairly easy. We'll just see what we can do. I'm not going to be like, you know, every little grain of concrete on there. I'm not going to worry about it too much. But if I can get the most of it off, at least so I can get a centimeter, so I can make the surface eventually, well, in the next few weeks, before I get these units fully installed, I'll do a render, even if it's not perfect color or anything like that. I have a feeling we're going to be doing the whole house at some point, even with might just be a lime wash. A lot of it felt really solid, and this is the back of the house is far worse. Anyways, bottom line is, I want to get this area done so I can cover up these things. I'm not like chipping and doing stuff with AC units here, so I smash them or anything like that. So let's get to that and see if I can get that done for today. That's the big goal. I got my sheet thing up, my little kind of blocker of the sun. That actually worked quite well yesterday. And yeah, just see what I can get done. It's already, it's like 9 a.m. and it's already 27. So in the next few hours, it's going to hit 30, I think for today, hit 36. So let's get to it. Little bite pieces every day. That's all I can do, right? So let's just keep positive and work on it. Let's get to it. Well, it's the next morning, Sunday morning, so I can't make any noise, but I can clean all this up. And to be honest, it's still really hot. I think it's 29 right now, and it's just about 8:39 in the morning. It's going up to 39 today, I think. So I've just got to take it easy. I'm getting kind of leg cramps and stuff. So seems like I'm doing nothing. I mean, I do other stuff. I'm doing gardening and doing a lot of computer stuff. But yeah, it's hot. This kind of all sucks. Let's get to it. Let's clean this little mess up here. And then for tomorrow, I'm going to cut off with the multi-tool those little plastic pipes. And then I'm going to continue chipping away. I'm going to give a go at this section up here. And then there's a little bit on this section here I have to do. And then there's a strip that runs all the way on the bottom of the house I'm going to give a go at. There's concrete about But like in this section here, it was quite difficult. And then I don't know if this was easy. That's actually lime, so it's fine. Yeah, there's just a few more little patches we've got to work on taking off, and it's heavy hot work. So yeah, let's put this stuff in one of these before it gets too hot. Well, good morning. So I'm up super early, got this all set up. Can't have my little sheety thing because I need the scaffolding, and what I'm going to do is work on that little section up here. See if I can nail that out this morning. Once again, it's going to 39 or something again today, so I've got to kind of beat this sun. So as quietly as I can, so 8:45, a little early, but you're allowed to make noise after 8, so I'm going to chip away this little section, have a break. And then I've got to do this, there's a whole section along the bottom here that I'm going to do, and then a little bit in the corner over there, and then that's it. Concrete for the house that I'm going to remove is removed. So let's get to it. Okay, so I've just gotten rid of at least the high part up there. It's now getting too hot. So I'm just going to take a little break. And what I'm going to do is, I don't know if you can see here, but they're tiles. So I guess when the neighbors, which used to be owners, same owners of this place, put this block in, or these walls in, I think it used to be a big window, and we requested they fill it in so that we wouldn't have people looking on our garden. So anyways, when they put it in, I noticed they've got these tiles. I don't know if they were the threshold tiles or something. So what I want to do is put blocks here. They got a little 8 centimeter, 7.5, something like that blocks. I'm going to basically do this kind of thing, but all the way up to the top of that, bottom of that ledge there, and then have it tilt out, and basically make this smooth is the idea. And then I'm going to run all my conduits and stuff across rather than having things suspended and weird. Just make it a bit flusher. So what I'm going to do, bottom line, is I'm going to try to angle grind these off, like a cut, and then chip them up, because what I'd like to do is have it so that when I put my blocks in, the bed of mortar is sitting on concrete and not trying to, because these will be slippery or something. I don't know how they've done it. I don't think they probably cared. But yeah, that's the idea. I'm going to cut those off and then chisel them up. Hopefully they'll pop off nice and easily. Let's get to it. All right, I don't know if you can see this, but this is the stuff I'm looking at getting rid of. There's a gray look to it. It's the concrete that's in it. If you look at this wall here, this is the addition wall. So they put this extension on, I guess in the 50s, something like that. You can see they've kind of wrapped it around. So this has got a bit of beige in it. So what they tend to do now is they mix like 1 part cement with 2 parts lime, and then the sand, and that's what gets us this. There's a teeny tinge of gray to this, but this one here is just pure cement that they've obviously had, because we had no gutters, so the water ran on the walls, and it wore away all the lime mortar or render. So this is what the lime render should look like. That's what the kind of a little bit of cement in it. And then this is what just pure cement looks like. And you want to get rid of this pure cement because it just sucks up the water and holds it. Whereas a lime mortar will get wet and it will immediately, not immediately, but as soon as it starts, it dries much quicker. And that stops us from going inside the house. Whereas this will suck up the water, allow it to go in the house. And then because the air can't get through it and the water won't come out that way, it sticks in the walls and makes the place damp. So that's kind of the 3 things that we're looking for. And this is the last, well, there's some more down over there I got to do, but it's in the sun and I'm not going to do it now. I'm just going to chip off this little bit here. It's just a little corner. And then because the AC unit's going to sit right here, one of them, the 3rd one. So I want to get that off. And then we'll just render, we'll see. This has got a little bit in it, but you can almost hear it. Whereas that's really solid. You can feel it. So this will be solid. Like I'm just going to go over and patch some little holes and stuff like that eventually. But for right now, that's coming off. And then we'll, yeah, be ready to put the AC unit in here once we give it a quick render. With just a lime mortar. Yeah, or lime render, yeah. Let's go. Well, I've had a little nap, and my next goal is to work on these sections here. All of this from about here down, and then it gets a little section here, and then we get a strip of it just along here. When I get to that, then we're all good for actually restoring it and getting it back to working. So yeah, it's 39 right now, so I'll see what I can do. Yeah, hopefully it just comes right off nice and easy like that other corner over there. But we'll see. Let's get to it. Well, good morning. Just before it gets too hot, I want to try to pick all this up, get it in the bags, and yeah, let's get doing that. I'm tired. Yeah, let's get going.
Hello, Sam here. As you may have noticed in this video, it was extremely hot and Scott really struggled. I think he got heat stroke like 3 or 4 times whilst doing this project, so that's why I've included all the little snippets of him practically fainting. Anyway, hope you enjoyed watching the video. Catch you in the next one. Bye!